Right now, California Attorney General Rob Bonta in a rare evening news conference tonight announcing another lawsuit against the federal government and the Trump administration regarding a freeze on child care and family services funding for Democrat-led states, including California. Let's listen in.
In less than a year since the president was inaugurated, and this is funding that California parents count on to get the safe and reliable child care they need so that they can go to work and provide for their families. It's funding that helps families on the brink of homelessness keep roofs over their heads. It's funding that helps parents find employment, get job training, so they can participate in the workforce and gain the independence that only employment can offer. It's in funding that provides emergency food, emergency housing, emergency recovery resources to communities hit by natural disasters. That, again, supports millions of Californians who Trump has turned his back on, funding that Congress has lawfully appropriated, as is its job, Congress's job, not the president. So this funding, this is a move the president has used many times in the past to try to stop funding that's already been congressionally appropriated, that a budget act by Congress, passed by Congress, signed by a president, and has already been passed, appropriating funding pursuant to Article 1 of the U.S. Constitution, Congress's authority. The president steps in and says, hey, even though all of that funding has been lawfully appropriated, I want to stop it. He can't. It's unlawful. It's unconstitutional. And that is why we are suing. This is just the latest example of Trump's willingness to throw vulnerable children, vulnerable families, seniors under the bus if he thinks it will advance his vendetta against California and Democratic-led states. And that's what this is. This is Trump with no basis, with no facts, with no evidence, going after Democratic-led states, the only reason for which is because they're Democratic-led. They are blue states. He's not going after Alabama and Louisiana and Mississippi. He's going after 4 states with no basis, not one shred of evidence. 5 states, excuse me. This is unconscionable, it's unlawful, and it's undemocratic, which is why we are taking Trump and his administration to court. Before I get into the details, I want to acknowledge and thank the public servants in California DOJ's Civil Rights Enforcement Section, our CRESS section, as well as our Government Law Section and Special Litigation Section. They've been working overtime at breakneck speed to file this suit and protect the families that Trump has left out to dry. And it's an honor to serve with them and to fight alongside them. This horrific situation began at the end of last year as a series of unsubstantiated, erratic, and inflammatory social media posts by the president and members of his administration. It further escalated 2 days ago when we received 3 boilerplate letters from U.S. Health and Human Services informing us that California can no longer use funds lawfully appropriated from 3 critical and mandatory federal programs. The Temporary Assistance for Needy Families Program, people refer to it as TANF, the Social Services Block Grant Program, and the Child Care and Development Fund. The bare bones letters made exactly zero concrete allegations of any alleged fraud in California. Zero. They cited zero evidence at all. They cited no legitimate authority to freeze funds our state is owed that have already been congressionally appropriated to our states. And the letters also failed to provide any reason why only our 5 states are the targets of this baseless investigation and accusation. In their public statements about this unlawful and fundamentally cruel funding freeze, though, the administration has not hidden the ball. They've repeatedly emphasized that our states
All right, you're just listening to the Attorney General Rob Bonta talking about the latest lawsuit that the state is filing against the Trump administration. This is regarding a freeze, $10 billion for several Democrat-led states, including here in California. And we heard in his comments he says that he's calling this a vendetta against California and other Democratic states on behalf of the Trump administration.
Yeah, I think of note saying that there was no specific case of fraud cited in California, as we've seen in Minnesota. And also explaining the basis of this lawsuit is constitutional, saying that Congress has the power of the purse and Congress had already approved this money. So if you'd like to continue watching that news conference, we will continue to stream that on our KCRA app.
And we also have Ashley Zavala, who is there and who will be asking some pertinent questions if they are needed to be asked. And we'll have more on that if we need to bring it to you. We'll be right back.